Thanks for tuning in to Men for the Win, a podcast hosted by David Kufis and Dan Thompson, two avid fans who appreciate well-played baseball, especially when it's done by the Twins. Men for the Win is sponsored by the Grand Group with Edina Realty. Are you looking to purchase a new home in the Twin Cities area? Or perhaps you're trying to sell your current home? Whether you're upsizing or downsizing, the Grand Group with Edina Realty will meet all of your housing needs. Contact the Grand Group by emailing thegran, that's G-R-A-N, group, at edinarealty.com, or call them by phone at 612-817-8751. The Grand Group with Edina Realty, 7-time Minneapolis-St. Paul Magazine Super Agent Award winners. Men for the Win is part of the Pulltab Sports Network, covering sports, culture, and entertainment across the Midwest. Check them out at pulltabsports.com and give them a follow on all your social media platforms at Pulltab Sports. On this episode, Dan and Hoges discuss the Twins' 3-game series against the Cleveland Guardians. Thank you for listening. Enjoy. Thanks for tuning in to Men for the Win. I am Dan Thompson. With me again is Andrew Hoganson for the third straight episode. That little bonus one in there, Hoges, I thought made me feel a lot better.
Yeah, me
kind
too.
of cathartically. So how did you feel then about this Guardian series where they just take one of 3?
I mean, it felt good to finally get one of those one-run wins, right, against this team. It just, it was so typical all the way up until that point. I got to admit, though, the baseball felt like it mattered a lot less this weekend than it has.
What did matter a lot less. I think that was factual. I was doing a little online shopping, Hoges, as I am wont to do occasionally. And let me tell you, have I got a deal for you? Do you want a Carlos Correa anything for the Twins?
My dad bought a jersey this year, and he's like, well, I know Correa's going to be there for 4 years for sure.
I want to build a championship culture.
Oh, man. Yeah, it's
Not
bad.
so. I was tempted. I think we only have in our collection of children's T-shirts, I think we just have the one Correa. So we'll keep that as an object lesson in loyalty.
Have you? You answered my question. I was going to say, have you toned down your anger at him?
Not.
It appears no.
All right. So I don't know about you, Hoges, but I was very eagerly checking in on all of the former Twins. And let me tell you,
weird.
the odds of having a former Twin in the World Series is like 85%.
It's so
now.
high. Duran has 2 saves already. He got another one tonight. They used his walk-up music. I would actually encourage people. They wrote a really cool, I can't remember if it was Hayes or Gleeman, wrote a really cool article, or maybe it was the Phillies beat writer, I guess, but a really cool article about how the Twins shared all of the digital stuff for that song and like a little bit of the light show and everything. So I thought that was kind of a neat gesture that they did that.
I mean, we are Minnesotan. So that's a very Minnesotan thing.
I was not happy watching it though. I was mad.
No,
it made me very upset. Like it was just like, no, why is he there?
So Carlos Correa, I check his box scores now. Like one might check an ex's Insta, right, or something like if my students like break up with other students, like they're always kind of still monitoring, and they're actively rooting against their ex, right?
Yeah,
and that's how I felt here. So. Carlos Correa, we'll see how many times I can keep this going, but he went 3 for 12 with 1 home run in a series versus the Red Sox. I was very happy that they got swept by the Red Sox.
I was too. It was funny though. It was so weird seeing clips pop up. I think he's even played short in one game. And it was so bizarre because you think it's an old clip and you're like, no, that's actually where he's at right now. Baseball's so weird too, right? Because other sports, when a guy gets traded, it's generally a while before they actually play. Like football, they might not even play that first week that they get traded. Plus, not that many dudes get traded. And now, like you said, just popping up everywhere. You look at any highlight and it was a twin. My buddy was in Chicago this weekend and he was like, why is Willie Castro wearing a weird jersey? I mean, they're spread everywhere. So like, who are you kind of rooting for now, right? I mean, I know the Twins are number 1 and everything else is indifferent, but I don't know. I kind of have a soft spot for the Minnesota Phillies right now.
Yeah, exactly. There's 2 of them over there with Bader. I am much more following the Mariners, though I can't watch them.
Yes, that's fair. Well, Dan, we are season ticket holders of them, too.
We are, so I really ought to be invested in them. We'll have a note about them a little bit later. They had a good series. But yes, Blue Jays announcers were in disbelief over getting Louis Varland. Rays announcers expressed like just pity for Minnesota fans.
So did the Dodgers. The Dodgers announcers did too. They had a whole segment where they were just like, what were they doing? Like, what were they doing?
Whole segments. Hoges, other teams are producing about the Twins
that were
right
barely involved in any of the trades too. It's just... I mean, so I listened to both the episodes that we did, and there was one part where I made a joke about how they're probably going to trade about half the team, and I was almost right. Like, it was just like, what is happening?
Well, one guy who's not is Byron Buxton. He reiterated his loyalty. So glad I didn't name a cat Carlos Correa, and I named it Byron Buxton. This is feeling like the cat came back, but he never went away. I guess that's really the thing. Byron Buxton, he says he ain't going nowhere. Love that guy.
That almost made me mad, though, in a weird way. Like, his whole, like, it's just baseball, it's just business thing. I wanted him to be mad, like, and be like, I might wave my, I don't know. He was way more reasonable about it and level-headed than I wanted him to be. I think I just wanted some fire, just because I'm still very much in the mad stage right now. The mad and the sad.
You haven't moved past those?
Not even a little bit. Like, I thought I had, but every time the TV came on with the game, anything, it's just anger again.
Well, I'm sorry, Hoges. We're going to talk about some baseball games here. We'll move through the series recap and maybe just a little bit faster than normal.
Series recap.
Game 1, after the Twins call up like 8 guys. It's a pretty new roster here. So the Twins lose this 3-2. It's a 10-inning game. One of those where
typical.
You think... Totally. And it's because you're the Guardians. There were 3 one-run games here. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But the Guardians score in the first on a Ramirez RBI single, and then they score a second on a Rocchio RBI single. I see his name and I think like Red Occhio, like I think of Gardens or something like that for some reason. But then they go quiet against Joe Ryan, who has a good start. 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 4 Ks. Twins do have some chances. The top of the 4th, they load the base with the 2 outs, but then Brooks Lee grounds out. My back! Top of the 7th with Lee on first and Vasquez on second. Martin hits a 0-foot single, which is as good of a moment as any, Hoax. I have a new sounder for this young man.
Nice. So I like that one took me a little bit. I'll be honest. I'm like, what is that, bro?
Well, because David told me that he needed it to be James Bond related. So that is an Aston Martin in one of the Daniel Craig.
Nice.
We'll see if that one lasts. But anyway, so he hits a 0-foot single. This is a play that I thought of you immediately, Hoax. Gaddis picks up the ball. And he does his best Carlos Correa impression. He does a leaping twist in midair to try to throw that ball to first, and it's nowhere near the first baseman. 2-run score. Even Vasquez chugged all the way around from first base to score. He's got some
wheels. The man actually has some wheels.
How would it feel, by the way, to be Vasquez? You're the only free agent who nobody wanted on this team.
Oh, he had a quote that was like, I guess I'm still here. I thought maybe I'd get traded, but I guess I can't. I'm untradeable, or something like that. It was very like... He was stunned that he was still on the team, which, I mean, that contract is an albatross, but the Twins were basically paying anyone to take guys, so I'm surprised they didn't do that one there.
Then, so we're going to talk about the bullpen a little bit later, too, but Topa, Sands, and Tonkin.
The bullpen?
I know. Well, they're the next 5 up, right? They pitched scoreless innings, of course, and so we go to extra innings. Tonkin, who I have a sounder for him too now, Hoax. Now, I don't know. Are you a war guy? Do you know anything about history? And David knows nothing about geography. But are you a history guy?
I'm a big World War II buff. I don't know like how like in relation to you as a teacher, my knowledge of it would be, but I'm
Vietnam War.
Vietnam, not a whole lot from Vietnam.
So this feels like I'm ruining my sounder, but I'm going to introduce it so people know what the heck it is. So there was a major conflict about the Gulf of Tonkin, and so I came up with this sounder here.
Good morning, Vietnam!
I do know that reference.
Okay, thank you. So that will be our Tonkin sounder here. So we'll see how this... I mean, with all these new guys, I feel like, Hoax, I had to add something. He allows a couple deep fly balls, which were those where you're like, Matt Wallner is backing up, and then he finally is able to make the catch. But in any case, in the top of the 10th, Hoax, the Twins don't bother to move the runner over.
Oh, it drives me nuts.
So do you think, because they were talking about this on the radio and TV casts, how it's not a good strategy for the road team to do that? What do you think of that?
I'm more okay with them not doing it when they're on the road. Like, if you're the home team and you just need to get the one run, you should do it every single time. The problem is, and I know you think that this is a potent lineup that should be scoring a ton of runs.
Well,
it is.
They should be able to bunt.
In actuality,
right?
No, that's what I'm saying, though. But you need to
Okay.
you need to manufacture some runs. It's not like, like when the Twins, they have the bases loaded and you get the run probability and it says like 3.8 or whatever. For the Twins, it's actually like 1.2. So they got to do everything that they possibly can to get that run across. I think I still would have bunted in this situation.
Well, the Twins don't score anything there. And then poor Funderburk. He gets into trouble, and Manzardo walks it off.
On my
so
fantasy
3-2.
team, David would be interested to know.
Manzardo is or Funderburg?
Manzardo is.
Okay.
Vanderberg is not.
That makes more sense.
My bullpen isn't quite as bad as the Twins yet.
I would hope not in a 12-team baseball league. You'd be able to get something a little bit better. Game 2, then the Guardians win this one as well, 5-4, but the Twins do have a lot of missed opportunities in this one. For example, in the top of the second, Clemens starts with a double, goes to third on a rare Stephen Kwan error, and then Wallner walks, and then they don't score any runs. And so, and you're like, all right. Bottom of the second, Guardians score first on an RBI ground up by CJ Kafis, who was making his major league debut, so welcome to the majors. That's 1-0 Cleveland. Bottom of the third, Daniel Schneemann, which feels just like a name of a substitute teacher. Like there's just something.
It really does. An old 90s movie substitute teacher for sure.
He hits a solo home run for Cleveland, so it's 2-0. They're also, later in the inning, there was a nice catch by Lewis, who kind of fell into the netting and down the left field line, but made a nice catch there. Top of the fourth, though, the Twins do tie it up. Clemens reaches, and then Matt Wallner.
Yeah, that's a moose.
Hits a deep fly. All of his home runs feel like are deep hogs. And he hits one to tie it. So it's 2-2. Top of the fifth, then, actually, Twins take a lead. Alan Roden hits his only hit I think he's ever going to have as a Twin. He doubles. He scores on a Larnach single, and then after a Jeffers single, Lewis doubles him in. So it's 4-2. And then the bottom of the fifth, though, with 2 outs, Schneemann, there he is again, singles. And then, of course, Jose Ramirez hits a home run to right off Ober, so he ties the game at 4. I learned this, too. I love names and connections. So Matt Festa pitches for Cleveland, not related to David Festa, actually. I was hoping. Isn't that a name?
Yeah, that's not a common last name. You would think that they were probably related.
But not related, unfortunately. So the note doesn't mean as much. Bottom of the eighth, Ramirez and Santana singles. So there's 1 out, 2 on. And then Bo Naylor hits an RBI double. So Cleveland takes a lead 5-4. And the top of ninth was one of those maddening moments. We're actually not going to talk about it later, so I'm going to talk about it now. But Eddie Julian hits one deep to center.
Oh, Canada.
And he went into full-on, like, salute the flag mode, where he just stood at home plate and then observed the baseball sail, not get caught, bounce around. And Eddie's just like, I'll just take a double. And it's like, this is a terrible spot, Eddie. A runner at third, even with the Twins odds. In any case, he does not score. Kersey Jr. tries to bunt here. And if even the Guardians announcers were roasting him for this. He wasn't able to lay down a bunt. They even made him bunt with 2 strikes, and he couldn't do it. So he strikes out trying. And then Roden.
That's a great way of saying that. For a bunt, a fall third strike. He strikes out trying. I love it.
Oh my gosh. So he strikes out. Roden strikes out. Larnach strikes out. And Cleveland wins that game 5-4. Bailey Ober was back from the injured list. He finished 5 innings, got tagged for the 4 runs, but people will tell you that his velocity, I will say the whole word, was a little bit up.
Did see that. That was encouraging, right? But I don't know how much you can take out of that.
He is so tall. Too. Every time I see him in the or in the dugout, I mean, he's towering.
He's so tall, and they're not small men that he's standing around either. And he's just a huge man. The most depressing thing I think about this game in particular, if you look at the lineup, the Twins have 3 guys in their starting lineup with a batting average under 200. And I know it's not entirely fair because Rodin's played in like 3 games, but his average is 100. Deshaun Kersey's 110. And then we have Eddie Julian at 196 and Matt Wallner very close to the under 200 club at 208. Like this stellar lineup,
he hits a lot of home runs though. Matt Wallner's growing on me here.
Game 3.
Well, he has to because there's nobody else
exactly.
left here.
Yes, but a very cute moose. Make all the boy moose go.
Only because of that sounder, too. We have that with him, at least.
He's got so many sounders. We were using the loon one for a while. We had the adamantium. Yeah. Anyway, game 3. Twins win this one 5-4. This is a great baseball game. I was able to watch a lot of this one. Twins get 4 in the first inning. So Martin, Jeffers, and Wallner single. So Wallner scores a run. I think it was his second hit with 2 base runners on, based on our data from the previous series. Then Lewis doubles again here. He gets another one in. And with 2 outs, he doesn't score a run on that one. But then with 2 outs, Larnach singles in those last 2 runs. So it's 4-0. Bottom of the first, Guardians get a couple back on another Jose Ramirez home run. He's not like this against other teams. No, I know he's good.
He's inevitable against us, too. It's just a no-doubter, too. The second he hit it, it was just like, that's gone.
So this game is confusing because there's a couple new names in the pitching roster here, but they're not new names, actually, to the organization. They're names of signing, which is weird to me, too.
Yeah, that was throwing me off. I was like, who is this Urena guy the whole time. And like I was trying to figure out if it was a guy from the trade. I'm like, I didn't recognize it from any of that. It was bizarre.
Well, and who can blame you? So he was actually acquired from the Dodgers earlier this year. I think he was released and the Twins picked him up. So he held his own, actually. 4 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 3 Ks. When I've looked at his stats, he's been kind of a long relief guy / maybe a starter. So I guess the Twins are trying him out this way. It wasn't like they've used Cole Sands in the past for a couple, because they need Cole Sands now for the 8th inning all of a sudden. They can't use him right away.
Yeah, it seemed less of an opener today as more of like a starter. I mean, he did go 4 innings pitched too. So, I mean, he looked good out there though.
He did. And Funderburk actually came in, pitched 2 shutout innings. Now, he did take a ball off the buttocks, which I thought was pretty funny. Comebacker, and he did the smart thing. He picked up the ball and just kind of tossed it underhand to first base. But he looked better. Topa then pitched a clean 7th. Top of the 8th, this was important. Wallner hit a triple to the right field gap, did not sit back and observe it. And there was kind of a funny bounce there. Kersey Jr. ran for him. Lewis struck out, but then Clemens did. It's maybe my favorite play in baseball, Hoges, is the squeeze bunt here.
Oh, it's so fun.
He bunts the ball up to first. They try to throw out Kersey at home, but they can't get him. And so Clemens is safe. They only get the 1 run, but in the bottom of the 8th, Sands allows just 1 base runner, strikes out a couple, avoids trouble, so it's 5-2. And that was important because Michael Tonkin.
Good morning,
To
Vietnam!
keep that going. He gets into trouble. He allows a walk, then a double, then a 2-run single. He does get Quan out, but then Rocco calls on Erasmo Ramirez, who Hoges, I think, is about your age. He's only 35. Is that where you're at here?
I'm a year older than that. I'm 36, but yeah, it is nice having guys still right around my age on the team. I don't hate that one bit.
I had to look and see if he had ever actually played with Rocco, because he was in the Rays organization.
Oh, yeah.
But Rocco was a little far back. So anyway, but he's able to get a couple pops out. He gets substitute Sheeman to pop out, and then actually gets Ramirez to pop out as well. And so the Twins do hold on. And as you alluded to, that ended a 14-game losing streak for the Twins in 1-run games at Progressive Field.
That's insane. Like that is an insane stat.
And it felt good, Hoges, to finally be done with that.
For sure. Well, speaking of things that feel absolutely great, if you haven't been launched off an inner tube at high speeds behind a boat, you probably didn't grow up in the land of 10,000 lakes. Good news, our new sponsor, Rave Sports, has all the water toys to upgrade your lake lifestyle. Whether you're looking to give the kids the ride of their lives on one of Rave's state-of-the-art hyper tubes, chill out on the 4-person Big Easy, or get a workout in on an inflatable Coda paddleboard, Rave Sports has your lake life covered. Make memories and make it the best summer ever at ravesports.com. And don't forget to use promo code Pulltab for 20% off your order. Rave Sports, make waves.
Catch 'em all, Kirby Puckett! Puckett's Picks winner.
Hoges, congratulations. You got a win here. A bonus, too. You picked Matt Wallner, the vice man, which may not be such a bad pick anymore. He gets you 12 points. That's the first time all season that Wallner has scored the team high in a series.
I do like that I won with picking him, too, because I literally, there was the tiebreaker was picking him to annoy you, because I figured you would go back to him after he won the last time. So I'm pretty proud of this one.
The listeners picked Lewis, who had a good series. He had 4 points, so he just didn't have the RBIs or the really big hits. And then David picked Brooks Lee. I picked Ryan Jeffers. They each had -3, but you get the bonus point because of that, Hoges. So now you're at 15 on the season. I'm in second at 11, but 4 back now. Feels a little more significant. The listeners are at 9, and David was 7.5.
It's like I said, this matters the most out of anything out of this season right now is how Puckett's Picks is going, and I like that 4-series lead right there.
Beast versus Bench.
Is losing fun? Is losing fun?
So neither of us is actually going to go with Wallner or Lewis, which might be an oversight, but I think we're just trying to draw attention to other contributions to this team. I'm going to go with Austin Martin again here.
You just wanted to play the sounder.
I want to play the sounder. You gotta train people. You know, like with students, you try to say their names a lot at the beginning. So Anyway, so I'm going with him. But he got on base 4 times in really the 2 games he played. He kind of played in the second game, but as a pinch situation. But if he can play like this, I was stunned that he had not been up with this team at all this year. And I know he dealt with some injuries, but I liked what I saw.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing because he did have that stint here for a while and then he got hurt. But it was shocking that he hadn't been called up previously, and I know I make fun of you for this, for giving the young guys an opportunity to play. This one, it seems like, is a real legitimate opportunity, and he needed it. I feel like he's very deserving of it. It was nice to see him produce in this series so far.
Now, Hoges, you picked somebody else. I wouldn't. You're going to have to explain this one.
I went with Buxton, and mainly for the reason that you were talking about. He's hurt right now, so most of the time he would have stayed home, but he specifically flew out to Cleveland to be with the team, knowing that the trade deadline was going to be a difficult time, and to kind of show that leadership to those younger players. I like that. I think it mattered a lot. I am, me personally, a little upset that he wasn't more outwardly upset. But again, maybe that's behind closed doors. I like the leadership there. He has to step up now with Carlos being gone. This is his team. He's still committed to it. And to still be able to go out there with all of them for this series, I think was a huge moment. So that's why I'm giving him the beast. I think it does matter.
Sorry, Carlos who? I've forgotten. I just don't remember anybody else playing shortstop besides Brooks Lee.
Yes,
who
famed
I love very much.
My bag!
Oh, man. As for bench, I'm going to go with one of the guys that they did acquire, Alan Broden. 1 hit, 6 strikeouts. He made a bad outfield play in Game 3. I'm not impressed.
Well,
I know he's a... Well, what do you... I mean,
it's like one guy that we get to see right away, right? Like everyone else is still in the minors or like they just are out working at Cub Foods or something like that. So actually getting to see him and then have this kind of performance, how are you not disappointed? Like it's impossible not to be.
And he's leading off too. Like they're putting him right there. Like he's like at the end cap when you walk into the grocery store.
Right.
You know, it's like that big collection of chips.
Yep.
And you're like, oh, I don't really want any Lay's or Cheetos here. You know, like I want something, you know, a little bit
what
better.
A lineup.
So,
when that lineup was posted for Game 1, you just had to laugh. It was like, who are half of these guys?
they're just, I mean, they're going to show what they can do, Hoges. Anyway, who do you got?
I went with the catchers. They only had 1 hit in the entire series. They're 2 of the more experienced guys we have right now, and with Jefferson Vasquez just not producing much at all, half of these trades that the Twins made were to get catching depth. I think it's because they're frightened about both of those guys for sure, which is legitimate.
If you're Ryan Jeffers, especially, because I think if you're Christian Vasquez, you know they're not going to re-sign you.
Yeah.
But do you see this? Like, how do you view this if you're Ryan Jeffers and they've just traded assets to get more people at your position?
Oh, I think you have to for sure know that that's a direct result of you not performing to the level that you're supposed to be at. So I would imagine he is definitely feeling the pressure now.
Well, as he should. Speaking of feeling the pressure here, let's go on to Rocco's Rewind here.
Rocco's Rewind.
How stressful do you think this series was for Rocco? I mean, I don't know how closely he works with Falvey on any of these trades and how much he's consulted, but they took away 5 of his bullpen guys, the majority of his lineup, and you're having to manage against one of your division rivals. I mean, I know the games matter a whole lot less, but you don't know where guys like to be used. There's got to be a lot of anger in that clubhouse too. Like, I've felt a little bad for him. Like, this is a rough situation to be put in, and he's trying to like fix those cracks that we talked about, and it had to have been rough, right?
And you do wonder, was Carlos Correa weighing on this team? And actually, I was thinking of this too. Did he actually really ever want to be here? Like I imagine sitting down with a spouse, and wouldn't I feel weird putting ourselves into these spots.
I'm not your wife.
But it'd be like sitting down and your spouse telling you after a few years of marriage that like they never loved you. Like that's what it feels like here to me.
You're so anti-Correa all of a sudden. I still don't understand. I don't have a problem with what he did. I don't feel betrayed at all.
But it was like he was never happy. Like,
but
it turns out he wanted to play third base the whole time.
Well,
the Twins
that's
didn't
the
want
Twins
him
just
to.
being stupid. Like, just put the guy. I mean, he was good at short, but you can, like, when he's going through the foot stuff, right? Maybe do play him at third so he doesn't have to move around a lot. It seems like the Twins are a little bit stubborn on that, except for Max Kepler. Max Kepler, right. If they want him to play center and he says no, there's no chance he's playing right forever. So, speaking of Phillies too.
Yeah, there's another one. Yeah, he's not doing well, by the way, for the Phillies, is he? You think
he's not. Which is part of the reason why they got Bader.
I just don't understand why you're not more upset about this. Because like
if you're in an
there was
unhappy
a problem,
situation,
Carlos could have said something, right? Say something.
He did. I'm sure he did. And then he was just sick of it. I mean, Dan, if this was your career and you were on this team, would you still want to be on the team? Like,
well, not at this point, but you would also feel like
he did want to be on the team. And then he told them there was only one other team. It's not like he left in the middle of the night. Like,
it feels like that. There's a good picture of him like at the airport. Anyway, but then like he went to like Alex Bregman's son's birthday party in Boston. It was like he just walked right back into his old life.
His old
it was like
friends.
Twins who? Like, it's like they've erased him from all memory here for the last 3 years. I just feel like so empty inside. Like what he wanted was so much different than what he got.
I think you're madder at him than you are at the Pohlads and Falvey. Like, it's just...
I just feel like we didn't understand it. Like, we needed to define the relationship conversation that should have happened a long time ago. It never happened. And now we've walked into this, and we could have just quit 3 years ago and never gone down this road in the first place.
I got nothing.
Anyway, that wasn't even anything you wrote down in Rocco's Rewind. I've been hurt.
So badly, apparently.
So anyway, I got to praise Rocco, though, because I don't know what he said to this bullpen, but he got more out of these guys in harder situations than he was getting out of them in easier situations. So they pitched 11 innings, and I'm not counting the bottom of the 10th in game one because I don't think that counts. 4 runs, which in 11 innings, I don't think that that's bad. I would have where was this before?
I think we would have taken it with the old bullpen too. Like we would have been like, yeah, that's decent. Well, that'll do.
So I hope that this really does seem to lead to like an invigoration of these guys where they're going to rise to the occasion, and it doesn't feel right because these guys have been put in these. I mean, how many times did we see Justin Toba come out there in the 9th or 10th and think, well, it'd be really nice to have a lockdown inning, and he didn't do it.
Yeah, all the time. And you don't want to have to use any of your high leverage guys. Now he is that, and maybe he just needed that little bit of a spark. But yeah, it's weird. It's crazy seeing that get trotted out there.
Minnesota moment.
Hoges, as you know, I'm a little touchy here when it comes to, these trades. And I turned on the radio for game one, and the voice that I heard was not a voice that I'd ever heard before. And I did the thing where I thought, well, maybe did I click on the Guardians feed by accident or something like that?
Oh, I do it on purpose.
Well, I know. Well, so I wonder if this year's because there was Glenn Perkins who was like, I'd almost change it for Glenn. I don't think he's the greatest radio guy. But
Hey,
there's
Stillwater alum.
Oh, well, then I probably shouldn't be. I shouldn't be bugging him. But then there was this other voice, and I was starting to like it. I was like, oh, who's this guy? But then I worried, like, did Chris Atterbury get traded too? Is he the 11th?
You were worried about that?
Well, I was worried for him. That would be a bad midseason deal.
Yes. But
But then I did some research, and it was a guy named Tim Grubbs, and he got called up, so to speak, because Atterbury was on vacation, so he's okay. He has called 4,000 minor league games, or a little bit more, which is almost as many games, but not quite as many as 5,000 that Dick Bramer did in TV for the Twins.
Not quite 5,000.
Not
He
quite
didn't
5,000.
quite make it there.
No, because why let the guy? Had he known what was coming here in the next year or two, surely they could have let Dick carry on for another year. Anyway,
I still don't get that. Well, whatever. I mean,
why
guess.
did they let him? Anyway. But Tim Grubbs comes on, and I just thought this was really cool. Having spent some time with play-by-play guys in minor leagues for a while here. So the guy who does Spokane Indians games, he actually does Spokane Chiefs hockey games too. And he is so happy to have this job. And I don't know how many games he's done, but some of these guys who do minor league games are they're every bit as good as the pros. It's just that their life situation or their aspirations are not to go to the majors.
Yeah.
I thought Grubbs did a really good job with this. And how cool was it for him, and he voiced this, to be able to step up and do the major league thing. And then I thought it was so ironic that he's doing it after the Twins traded away 10 of their players anyway. So he's got to learn all these new guys.
Yeah.
He's the wind surge guy, so he doesn't even know all these guys. So I just thought that was really cool and a fun moment here.
Yeah, I like that. I like giving them that opportunity. And hey, to be honest, whenever it's not Atterbury, sign me up.
Well, that's what I thought. But you have a more baseball-centric moment.
Yeah, mine's pretty sassy, though, for being honest. I went with Erasmo Ramirez getting the save. First one in one run win in Cleveland. And you said 14 games, right? That's
14
what it
games.
is. That is insane at Progressive Field. It felt good to get the monkey off the back. It felt a little empty, though. You know what I mean? Like, we finally did it, and we don't care. Like, it was such a Minnesota thing. Like, oh, we finally beat Cleveland in the one-run game. We took it away to just win 1 out of 3 in the series when baseball doesn't matter anymore.
Well, that's a good transition, actually, into the Mauer's Musing.
I just don't know how it can get any better.
Mauer's Musings.
So they're 52 and 59 now, Hoges. There's 51 games to go, if my math is right. What do you think is a reasonable hope for a win-loss record during those 51?
The very first thing I did, like when all these trades were going down, is I was just looking at the record, and my first thought was like, we should be able to win 10, 11 more so that we don't lose 100 games. Like that was like where I set the bar immediately after all of that was happening. I don't know. You got to think they're going to go hopefully like 20 and 30, something like that. I don't think it's going to be that ugly because we've talked about this. They have like the second easiest schedule from here on out, although they didn't do great so far in the easy part of the schedule. But like we've said, the win-loss is going to be a little bit pointless from here on out. But I think I don't know. I think this team should have a little bit of fire. If they don't, that's concerning.
Do you want them to tank? Like,
No.
I know that they won't tank. But,
No,
you know.
I don't, because I don't like. It doesn't matter really in baseball to tank. Like, there's not like a consensus number one guy that I've heard about coming up. So yeah, I'm not interested in that at all. I want them to go out and win. If they went 40-10 and still missed the playoffs, I'd be pumped. Like, that would be fun to watch. Like, every game still matters to an extent, and I'm still going to be going to a decent amount of games. So yeah, I want them to do well.
I wonder if this is going to change the timeline on return for a guy like Pablo Lopez or
I think
Byron
for sure.
Buxton. Like, do you think we'll see Pablo pitch again?
I wouldn't, to be honest. Maybe just like a bullpen role or something like that. But yeah, Buxton, don't have him come back until he's totally ready. Like, I wouldn't mess around with any of that at this point. But like, to your point, and not to just be trying to wear the rose-colored glasses, this is a huge time for auditions right now. These are guys that they're going to get probably their last shot, and the Twins will move on from them if they don't do well, and they're going to get an extended look. So it kind of does matter in that sense.
I totally agree. Now, I am not a season ticket holder for next year, Hoges, but I am still interested in your question here because it very much concerns you and David.
Yeah, so I have been known to overreact. I don't know if you know that about me.
No, I can't believe it. Yeah.
But if you were a season ticket holder of the Twins and not the Mariners, would you renew your season tickets for next year? The deadline is end of September that we have to decide if we're renewing. Instantly, I was a no. I'm not doing it. But my other partners that are doing it, we have 3 of us. 2 of us want to cancel. The other one thinks that's silly and we need to keep them. What are your thoughts?
I would keep them, but I would ask for something in bargaining, in a return. You know, like how many, not champion seats, but what's the ones that are the ones that are like up a little bit, but in the middle?
The Champions Club one would be awesome.
Well, I would
they gotta
take
give us
those. Maybe it's the legend seat or something.
Yeah, I think
would.
it's something like
somebody
that.
can correct me there, but I would ask for some more seats, or maybe a better upgrade or something like that. But we are fans of baseball, kind of no matter what, and I think we're gonna be Twins fans no matter what. Like, I don't understand the cries out there of people saying, "Oh, I'm done with this team. I'm swearing off." Well, then you're not really a fan, you know. Like, and that's fine. But don't like go out of your way to brag about quitting on this team. This is a cycle, and we hope that they are able to kind of come back. So I would re-up, but I would want to sweeten the deal just a little bit too.
The frustrating part of it though is I'm giving that money to the Pollads, and I get that it doesn't actually matter. It's less than a drop in the bucket, but it still is annoying to know that you're doing that and supporting that, because the part that I am going to hammer this into the ground, but the Louis Varland trade makes no sense. The Carlos Correa one still, to me, makes no sense, because it's $70 million off the books that they are not going to send. Louis Varland under team control until 2030. Like, I stay up late at night thinking about it. I don't understand it. How many people do you think will be at that first home game after, when they finally get back to Target Field? Like 2,000? I
think there'll still be 10. I think they'll still get a
weekend
decent
series
draw.
too. I'm going that Sunday.
So you'll be there, you'll know, but it won't be like it was in those.
But I feel like I'm supporting this disaster of decisions right now. Do you see why I'm torn? I want to go watch a beautiful baseball game with my kids, but I don't want to support that owner. I want to support the players, not the owner.
We'll just bring one of the signs that they'll get kicked out.
Oh man, I hope there's a ton of them. They can't kick everyone out, can they?
No, they can't. No, I think they've tried that in many movies, and it doesn't quite work. This is how like revolutions happen. It's like everybody shows up in those Guy Fawkes masks.
If we just keep going, Dan, nothing is going to change. If we keep renewing our tickets, nothing is going to change.
They're going
to
sell them.
Take a stand.
They're like a couple weeks from a sale.
Do you remember when I ended the lockout early because I threatened to cancel my season tickets, and then that day they reached a decision? So they saw my email. So all I need to do is cancel, and we'll find out that they executed a somehow waiver wire switch for Juan Soto or something like that.
Wouldn't that be fun? All right, well, let's look at this series one more time and grade.
I don't want to.
Series grades.
I gave him an F. I'm still mad. I'm happy that we won today, and I probably should have bumped it up a little bit more, but I'm still upset with the direction that this team is going. And it still bugs me too. So we were making all sorts of crazy predictions over how we thought game 1 was going to go, and all of us were totally wrong. No one even got close. But you would have liked to see some fire in that game. And I know a lot of the guys aren't with the team anymore to show any fire.
There's no fire left.
Right. It just felt flat. And I don't know. I'm kind of stuck on that mentality problem with this team, too.
It did feel like watching a 90s Twins game more than anything, because it was like, oh, you got a couple good players. I was a kid. I was pretty young when Kirby Puckett retired, but it almost had that feel where it's like you had all this momentum as a team and then it was just ripped away from you, and the trajectory of the franchise felt different. And people who were a little bit older than me, I probably could explain that a little bit better, but it just felt like, man, I thought this team 2 weeks ago was going in one direction.
Yeah.
And then they totally went in the other direction.
Yeah.
So.
It's insane. This year itself has been a roller coaster.
My grade actually is better than that. So a couple of things that are funny here. It's the momentum. I gave them a 0 on the pendulum because I actually thought that they did about as well as I could have hoped in this series. Yeah. And the fact that they did win a game, I think felt pretty good. Decision making, I gave them a +1. I thought because of the way that Rocco actually handled the pitching staff and then just kind of the lineup, he did what he could. I would have liked them to bunt more, maybe in that extra inning and try to score a run, but whatever. The stars, this is funny because the 3 of the 6 guys I had on my list are gone now.
I like the crossouts that you still have.
That's right. They're still there. Thank you.
Always in our hearts.
If you navigate over to the roster and schedule tab too, Hoges, I just crossed them out. Like I didn't replace them.
I like that.
Maybe that's what I'll have my kids do to their Correa shirt is I'll just draw a line through Correa's name. Not that I'm bitter.
Not at all.
So he's gone. Anyway, I gave the stars a 0 because the only ones left on my list, none of them played. Buxton, Ryan, Lopez, Correa, Duran, and Castro. Not one of them. I'm sorry, Joe Ryan did play. He played okay.
He played pretty decent.
Mids, I don't even know. I got to redo my categories. I gave him a 0 there. But the youth.
This really blew up your grading scale.
I got to change it. But the youth, Hoges. The fact that Wallner looked good. Brooks Lee looks confident and happy at shortstop. You know, he's the guy on the back burner who's been put back on the front and he's okay with it.
You know, he was already playing though, right? You know, he was already on the team. It's not like he got an opportunity
to be back at his home position.
But
he feels very good.
We had an elite defensive shortstop a week ago.
Not by every metric, Hoges. You dig into
the
those.
eye test. Old school, Daniel.
Oh, yes. Okay. Thank you. Anyway, a +2 on the youth because they played. And so that gets me up to an 18 out of 25, which is a C-. This is my best grade since the pre-All-Star break.
That's so sad.
It's what I got, Hoges. But you know what? If you're feeling sad, let me tell you what can make you feel a little bit better. Jimmy's coleslaw. It's still coleslaw season, folks. I know that there's smoke coming from Canada, and I know if there's not smoke, it's hot and humid, but at any time, add some of that Jimmy coleslaw to your dinner, and it's just going to feel better. It's going to give your slaw the zip and zing that everyone will be talking about. It's available in original, fat-free, and pineapple. Jimmy's is family fun and locally owned. It's delicious on everything. Burgers, brats, pulled pork, just a summertime side. You can't go wrong with Jimmy's. Pick up a jar today. Jimmy's salad dressing and dips. Don't you be messing with my dressing.
I don't know, Jack. It looked like Herbeck pulled him off the bag.
Herbie's headlines.
Hoges, a couple fun things here. And the Rockies, and they were wearing their City Connect jerseys with like the sunset over Denver. I almost queued one up in my cart. I was so excited. They were down 9. And speaking of a team that has nothing.
Correa jersey in there.
Oh, I do not. I'm going to burn it if I give it. So the Rockies are down 9-0 after the top of the first. And they have like 25 wins this year, right? I think it's maybe 30 now. They came back and beat the Pirates 17-16. They scored 5 runs in the bottom of the ninth to win that thing on a walk-off home run. 30-something thousand people are still there for Rockies games. Why are they showing up there?
Because Coors Field is just looks beautiful. I have to get there. It looks phenomenal. And for that team to still have fans that are showing up to their games, more power to them. I love it.
The stick it to the owner strategy is not what they have chosen.
No, they have not. They have accepted. They are firmly in the acceptance stage.
And then just one other note about the Mariners here, my season ticket holding team. So Julio Rodriguez, who they call J-Rod, which is confusing because you don't pronounce the J like the J. So it'd be like Hoorod. That's how I'd say it. Anyway, kind of a funny stat. So he got his 20th home run. He already had 20 steals. He's the first player in Major League history to begin his career with 4 consecutive 20-20 seasons, and the first player to log 4 with the Mariners overall. The third player to reach triple digits in both home runs and steals in his first 4 seasons, joining Bobby Bonds and Darryl Strawberry. That's from the MLB.com story about that. So he hasn't been everything that they've hoped, but he's been solid.
Well, and they're an exciting team going forward here too. They definitely went all out at the trade deadline now, and they're gonna make a run for it this year, I feel like.
All right. Well, speaking of team making a run for it, it's the Tigers who the Twins play next. So let's go ahead and pick for that series.
And we'll see you Puckett's Picks.
So I asked some listeners for a pick, and they picked this guy.
Are you sure? Are you sure it wasn't your kids and you told them, "Hey, I got a new sounder. I really got to play this again"?
I did not. It was not. So a couple guys, they picked Austin Martin. I get to pick next, and so I am, of course, going to go with Royce Lewis.
You were the chosen one.
No, the other one.
You jinxed yourself
Every time. I'm going with Royce. David is going to stick with Brooks Lee because apparently he has to pick the shortstop.
My back, my back.
And Correa's not there. So Hoges, who are you going to take?
Well, I have to take Wallner. I mean, it's weird because Martin for sure was my first choice. It's weird to win Puckett's picks and have the high score and pick last and still get him again. I feel like I'm just stealing candy from children right now, but I'll take it.
Well, that's how I feel about Carlos Correa here. He's the bully that goes around the neighborhood.
What did he do? What did he do to you? It's not like he stormed into Falvey's office and was like, "I'm gone. I'm out of here."
All right. Well, folks, if you like what you hear, please tell a friend. You can follow us on X at Min for the Win. You can find our Min for the Win Facebook and Instagram pages. Make sure you're subscribed to the podcast on your favorite platforms so you're notified when new episodes are available. And if you could leave us a rating or like, we'd greatly appreciate it. If you'd like to support the show further, you can find us on Patreon. The link is in our description. Thank you for listening. And as always, go Twins. That'll wrap up another episode of Min for the Win, a podcast hosted by David Kufis and Dan Thompson, two avid fans who appreciate well-played baseball, especially when it's done by the Twins. Thanks so much for listening, and as always, go Twins.